Hey guys, it's Destiny, and today I wanted to go over the version 2.4 reveal for our second 5-star from that update. And also, I'd love to know, let me know what upcoming character you guys are the most excited for that has been shown off so far, or if you're actually excited more so for a rerun instead. And if you guys do enjoy videos like these, do make sure to subscribe and also hit the like button to support the video. But before we get into today's video, I wanted to say thank you to Lisa Goddess of Rage for being today's sponsor. Lisa Goddess of Rage is a game about fast-paced tactical battles under 3 minutes, and the game focuses on elements from card games and classic RPGs, as you fight against other players with your roster of characters and also progress through the game's PvE content to top the leaderboards. You unlock more characters as you play through the game, and you can also summon for characters as well to broaden your roster even further. Each character comes with unique attacks and skills that they can unleash during battle, and you can also unlock more content as you progress through the leagues as you begin the game, and your goal will be to climb up the leagues by playing a bunch of battles with your roster. To play Lisa Goddess of Rage, all you have to do is go to the description down below and you'll be able to download the game on the App Store or Google Play Store for Android devices. Plus, you can use this promo code to get some nice goodies, and thank you once again for sponsoring today's video, and now let's carry on. The character that was revealed to be our second 5-star of version 2.4 will be Jiaoqiu. I wanted to first talk about their design, since I've seen a lot of people either say they really like the design or they're honestly not really a fan of it. Firstly, I really like the design. I just really like chef characters, and the animations they can potentially do can be pretty fun depending on what they end up going for Jiaoqiu. I also noticed there's a horse in the splash art, so maybe there could be a horse involved with the animations. I'm actually not too sure, but in his description, they mentioned that he is, of course, a chef, but it's also mentioned that he could potentially be a healer, which, considering that he's a Fire Nihility character, this would be a very interesting approach to what he could potentially do for team comps. Right off the bat though, it is nice that we are getting more fire characters, since a lot of us might be lacking fire coverage on our accounts if you do not have Himiko or Topaz, and also if you are iffy on picking up Firefly, then you might not have too many fire options. And he also will be sharing a path and element with Guanifin, so we have now 2 Fire Nihility characters. Assuming that he does have the sustain potential alongside the debuffs, this can allow him to stand out with that combination of path and element. He also could end up being one of Acheron's best partners, since now you'll have another Nihility option, which Acheron's skill kit highly benefits from having 2 Nihility allies alongside her. So if Jiaoqiu has sustaining potential for the team, then it's far easier for you to run Acheron alongside 2 Nihility and a Harmony character at only E0. And you'll still be able to, of course, get her maximum benefits from having 2 Nihility allies on your team. He could also go the damage over time route, which can be beneficial for damage over time teams. Depending on what debuffs he does though, he could actually end up being more universal as well. For example, how Payla's defense reduction with her ultimate can benefit plenty of team comps, or how Silverwolf's debuffs can benefit teams from all the debuffs that she can inflict onto enemies. And of course, that weakness implementation is just really good. So when it comes to Nihility characters, I would always say to keep your eye out for them, especially when it comes to what we've seen from our previous limited Nihility characters. Silverwolf is able to debuff enemies' defense, speed, attack, implants a weakness onto enemies, and so on. As for Kafka, she's a damage over time queen. She enhances the playstyle tremendously with her being able to detonate damage over time. And overall, she's a high priority, especially for those who are heavily interested in further enhancing their damage over time teams and just that playstyle in general. Black Swan is another damage over time centric character who is able to provide nice defense drops, which can benefit the entire team's damage output on the enemies that of course are debuffed from that defense drop. And her form of damage over time, Arcana, is able to deal a bunch of damage depending on how many stacks you have on an enemy by the time their turn does come up. Then of course, for our latest Nihility character, we have Acheron. She's able to deal massive amounts of damage with her skill kit and be able to benefit from Nihility allies alongside her. She's able to deal some of the highest damage in the game, and is definitely worthwhile to consider picking up, especially if you are interested in her playstyle of how she synergizes with having other Nihility allies alongside her. I do feel like with our Nihility characters, there's just so much that could potentially come out of the characters. They can either be strictly for massive debuffs, potentially implantation like Silverwolf. They can end up being damage over time, or they could just end up having something unique. For example, like how Acheron highly benefits just from having those two allies alongside her on the team comp. As for 2.4 though, now we have Jiaoqiu, and if we do keep following this pattern of our limited Nihility roster, I would 100% say just keep your eye out on them, especially if their design does interest you. And also, if you do use Acheron, it's more than likely there will be some form of synergy just because of the fact that she does benefit from Nihility characters overall. So it honestly does become a pretty tough choice because I feel like we have a lot of nice upcoming characters. Firefly, Jade, Yunli, and now Jiaoqiu. Firefly will of course be a fire destruction class character. Destruction characters that we've seen in the past always have some form of unique mechanic or just something that makes them stand out in general, which can also let them be pretty interesting when it comes to just how much damage potential they can honestly do. Jade is going to be a quantum erudition character. I'm really excited for the live stream tomorrow, so we'll get to know more about that and I'll definitely go over that. And then we have Yunli, who is a physical destruction class character. And as I just mentioned about destruction characters, they typically have something that is pretty unique to them, or at least makes them stand out with their damaging potential. We're not too sure what she'll exactly do, of course, since we don't have much information on her. But of course, if you are lacking physical characters, that can be an option. And then if we are considering rerun potential, a Rua Mei rerun is very likely too, which is an amazing pickup option when it comes to having a very strong support on your account. So it's just, there's a bunch of options, honestly. We haven't had a Huohuo rerun just yet. She could be an option. I know a lot of people are pretty excited for her. They really like what she offers with the attack and the energy and her heals. And then, of course, as I said, a Raw Mei rerun would be pretty crazy as well because of the buffs that she's able to provide for teams. So I'd love to honestly know, who are you guys the most interested in from our upcoming characters? Or if you're honestly way more excited to see what reruns we are going to end up getting in 2.3 and then eventually also 2.4. I'll be going over my poll opinions in depth, by the way, once we get that live stream, so that we can see more of the skill kits for Firefly and Jade, as well as the reruns alongside them, just so I can give you guys my personal thoughts on who you should go for depending on what's on your account. But that'll be all honestly for my thoughts for today. Definitely excited to see what Jiaoqiu will be able to offer and just bring to the table. I really hope there is some sustaining potential because that would just be really unique, I feel like, for the character to have a chance to stand out alongside all these other really awesome looking characters. Let me know how you guys are feeling about his reveal though. Do you feel excited for him based on his element or design, or are you guys more leaning on potentially skipping him and maybe just pulling for one of our version 2.3 characters instead, or once again, those reruns? If you guys, of course, did enjoy this quick video from me, make sure to subscribe to see more content from me and also hit the like button to support the video. I hope you all have a great one like always, of course. Peace.